Hey friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to week 23, the last episode of this iteration of the Cool Down Catch-Up, a weekly catch-up of what went down last week during the San Juan Solstice 50-mile run. This video is going to be a race recap of the San Juan Solstice 50-mile run. I did have two taper runs earlier in the week, but this is going to go into an in-depth detail of my race as well as a little bit of a course overview for those interested in running this race in the future. I dubbed this course Brutiful. Brutal, yet outstandingly beautiful. This was my first 50-mile race and I couldn't have asked for a more perfect course. Big vert, high alpine adventure, and in my favorite place in Colorado, the San Juan Mountains. I did have the goal of going sub 12 hours, which on this course, being my first 50-mile race, I felt like was a stout goal as well as a very respectable time. So let's get to it one last time. The cool down catch-up of the San Juan Solstice 50-mile run starts right now. Thursday, June 20th, I headed down to Lake City so I could be able to relax, as my only obligation on Friday was to go to the pre-race registration. When I got into town, I did do a short 30-minute shakeout run and then headed out to find a place that I could park my truck so I could eat and sleep. Pre-race registration started at 10 a.m. and was held in the Armory building. And naturally, I was second in line. I chatted with some racers and actually had my first YouTube recognition from a couple from Kansas, Brian and Jessa, who both had some solid performances the next day. So big shout out to Brian and Jessa if you guys are watching, and go kick some ass at Hard Rock. Brian, I'll be following along closely. The forecast for race day looked pretty solid with only a slight chance of rain in the afternoon. But Friday was a different story. Well, let's hope it gets all of this out of its system. It's hailing right now. Thank God that this isn't in the forecast for tomorrow. Just got back from registering. Got our swag bag. Got this cool little collapsible cup because it is a cupless race. I did go buy one, but it's sweet. It does have the San Juan Solstice logo on there. Gonna be running bib number 41. And then we also got this map, which has got the map on it and then a bunch of the aid station and segment details. What I'm gonna do right now is I need to get my drop bag packed. I'm only gonna need one drop bag for this because Jacob, Renee, and Adam are all going to be helping me at both Williams Creek as well as Slumgullion. So I only need the one aid bag at Carson, which is about mile 21. So that's what my plan is right now, is to go and get that all packed up. And I'm gonna start divvying up what I need at each aid station and what I need to have in my vest. So I'm gonna label it like that. So that's the start. This is everything that goes in my vest at the start. And I'm gonna continue on with that for every aid station. I'm also adding an extra gel in every pack, just to make sure that in case I start getting energy low or bonking. I'm also gonna try to always have some sort of real substantial food on me, whether that's like a fig bar or a candy bar or from aid stations, chips, stuff like that. I spent the evening finalizing some last minute logistics, packing my bags for my crew, and getting some dinner and some light stretching in before I headed to bed. With a 5 a.m. race start, I woke up at 3:45 a.m. to get in a light breakfast and some light stretching before we headed over to the Armory building where I needed to check in for the race. I'll admit I was a little bit nervous waiting around, but a few minutes before 5 a.m. on June 22nd, all of the racers got onto Silver Street right in front of Lake City Town Park and awaited for the 5 a.m. start. The race starts by running out of town and heading west along Henson Creek along a really nice graded road. I tried to find a good pace on this road, knowing that there were going to be several miles of a steep climb, which would result in a lot of hiking. Guys. After 2.7 miles, we all headed down across the bridge over Henson Creek and up into Alpine Gulch, where we would have our first big substantial climb of the day, over 4,400 feet. before that, we had to do a few creek crossings. And by few, I mean several.
First river crossing of several.
Some of the creeks were over knee deep and roaring.
Who's having fun?
Woo! There was actually quite a scary moment on one of the creek crossings where a racer got taken out and completely submerged, and it took several runners to help pull him out to safety, and it resulted in a separated shoulder for that individual. So this is one thing to be aware of. You will be starting this race wet, and there are some heinous crossings. I did try to combat this with pre-treating my feet with Desitin to help prevent my feet from getting waterlogged.
All right, about 5.3 miles in, going up Alpine Gulch. I've already crossed 5 streams, something like that. Maybe a few more with my friends Joey and Grace from Leadville. Joey got in literally last night at 7 p.m. So out here crushing it. Yeah, less than 12 hours ago, he knew he was running. So going up Alpine Gulch. Next stop, Alpine Aid.
The climb up Alpine Gulch is beautiful single track through the woods and open meadows right during sunrise. I knew I wanted to pace myself up this climb, but I was feeling strong and I did want to push my pace a little bit. But this is definitely a little bit of a bottleneck and a Congo line. I was getting a little bit antsy as I wanted to be going a little bit faster, but I do think that this was a blessing in disguise, and it was holding me back a little bit. But this is something to be aware of if you have a certain time goal, so keep that in mind. You probably will be bottlenecked. The Alpine Aid is 7 miles up and is minimal with no water, so another thing to consider.
Thanks for being out here, guys.
These guys packed in and camped overnight, so huge shout out. I didn't bother stopping, so I passed right by and continued on my climb up. Leaving the Alpine Aid, I was finally at and above tree line, feeling that fresh air, and this was definitely probably my favorite part of the entire race.
Just over 8 miles in, 3,400 feet again, and almost to the top of the Alpine Gulch climb. Just right up there. And then we got about 6 miles downhill. Absolutely beautiful morning this morning up on San Juan Solstice course. Got stuck a little bit behind quite a bad bottleneck on the Alpine Gulch climb, but I think it was good. Slow me down a little bit because I feel like I would have gone a little bit harder. So slower miles than I wanted, but I think that'll save me in the end.
Once on top of the climb, the views are absolutely breathtaking, with the views of Uncompahgre, a Colorado 14er, looming to the north.
All right, we're running along the ridge, top of Alpine Gulch, and then we'll be dropping down to Williams Creek and campground. But this is what I signed up for. High alpine, fun, and adventure.
This is an awesome section of running along the ridge before the long descent into Williams Creek. There are a few punchy climbs on this section. I was feeling really good on this descent, and I was putting down some pretty solid paces.
Poles are stashed, and we're going downhill finally. About 6, I'm a couple miles in, but about 6 miles total down from the top of the Alpine Gulch. And seems like I'm right at, maybe a little faster than my goal pace. Trying to be weary, this is a long day, because, you know, I kind of was getting a little antsy in the bottleneck, kind of by Alpine Gulch. But I think it's a good thing that saved me, and still ahead of my splits. So, you know, I think it was a good thing it happened, but awesome, just running down. Beautiful.
I wanted to capitalize on this downhill and make up some time, and this is a great section to do so. Very runnable and a really great trail. But you do want to be aware that you have a lot of descent ahead of you throughout the day, so save those quads. Right before getting into Williams Creek Aid Station, you get back down into the trees for some awesome miles. I got into Williams Creek Aid Station about 27 minutes ahead of my schedule and had a really nice surprise. My dad and his wife Harmony had come to cheer me on.
Yeah, Taylor! Let's go! Woo! Yeah!
Now that's a surprise. Where are we over here? Okay.
Nice job, let's go.
Williams Creek Aid Station is about 15.7 miles in, and you already have 4,500 feet of gain under your belt. This is also the first of 2 aid stations that you'll be able to see your crew.
Side. I think everything else in there is it's empty. I took that late, so I don't need to drink that one right now. I took it like a half an hour late.
Where are you at right now?
Where am I? Williams Creek Aid Station. Got a little surprise here.
Woo!
Not expecting.
Renee, Adam, and Jacob were crewing me and did an amazing job. It's really nice to know that you can sit down in your chair and have your crew fill up your vest, and you know that you have everything you need for the next coming section and you can just relax. This pit stop was quick and efficient. I changed my shoes and my socks, got some aid station fruit, and resupplied before heading off. You have about 2.5 miles on a county road before you turn up Wager Gulch, a jeep road, for another big climb.
Let's lift. Williams Creek Campground Aid Station. Got surprised by my dad and Harmony, who had no clue they were gonna be here. They were at that aid station. I was there about 27 minutes faster than my goal time. So ahead of pace, but that's good because there's a lot of climbing left. So it's nice to have a little bit of a buffer on that. So we got about 2.5 miles on this road here, and then straight uphill.
I was still feeling really strong, and I knew I wanted to make up some time where I could still actually run before the big climb, which would be majority hiking.
Heading up the Carson climb, up to Carson Aid. This is the second really big climb of the day. Pretty much all hiking, so just trying to find that pace I can maintain. It's steep, it's a jeep road, so it's not single file, which is nice.
The Carson climb is a brutal one, as you gain another 4,000 plus feet in the next 10 miles or so to the high point of the race on the Continental Divide. But you do have the Carson aid station at mile 21, where your drop bag is.
All right, 21.8 miles in, just left Carson aid station. Kind of a 5-minute split stop. Just got what I needed out of my drop bag, added it in. Got 10 miles to the next aid station. Another 2,500 feet or something. Getting tired. Can't really run much right now, but lucky enough, it's all steep. I don't really want to run it anyways. But runnable terrain, just not feeling it. So I'm just trying to keep the hike, but I'm still ahead of my goal pace right now by, I think, 20 minutes. So hold on, Taylor, hold on.
This was another quick turnover at the aid station, but I did make one really bad mistake. The next aid station was 10 miles away with no water access until then. I wanted to have 3 bottles of Tailwind and water for this section, but I forgot to fill up my 3rd bottle. After leaving the Carson aid station, this is the first time I hit a real low. There's parts of this climb that you can plan to run as the grade does ease up and lead to some runnable sections. I did some short stints of running on this section, but I did succumb to hiking quite a bit, which I think was a good thing because I needed to conserve some energy. Remembering that I was not even halfway done with the race at this point. I was still moving really efficiently while hiking uphill, but I was struggling a little bit on the flats and the slightly uphill sections that I really did want to be running. My energy levels were pretty good at this point, and my legs were still feeling really strong, but this is when I started to have some stomach issues that was my limiting factor throughout the day. Anytime I would try to run the flats or slight uphills, my stomach would start cramping and it would be really uncomfortable trying to do any sort of uphill effort. It felt like there was just a brick in my stomach.
All right, up on 24.4 miles on the CDCU, CT. Still liking. Tired. A lot of gain. I think almost 8,000 feet already. So, and not even halfway done with the race. Cool.
This entire section along the divide has a lot of runnable sections, but it's just enough gain to keep you honest.
Beautiful day though, honestly. Insanely good. that cloud. Not scary. Other than that, it's been an absolutely stunning day. But it's getting a little flatter now, so I'm gonna need to do a little bit of running to make up some time. Alright, about 28 miles in here. Got a nice little steep, rocky descent. About 3 miles or so from the Alpine aid. Most of it should be downhill from here. Having a little bit difficult time running uphill and anything kind of flat, so downhill is welcomed right now. 29 and a quarter in. So just over 20 miles left. One thing I'll tell you about this course is when you look at the elevation profile, you kind of are like, oh, yeah, you're just trending downhill for whatever, 20 miles, 15 miles. Not the case. A lot of flat, kind of rolly, up, down. It's definitely, I was anticipating making some better time on this section, but yeah, it's don't always trust that elevation profile, I guess.
I had reached the Divide aid station at 31 miles, right on my goal pace. But because of my mistake at Carson aid, I had forgot to fill that bottle. I had ran for almost an hour without any water and Tailwind nutrition. I was trying to combat this with salt tabs, but I was also having a really difficult time getting down gels. I have a reminder on my watch to have me eat every 45 minutes, but at this point it felt like it was going off every 5, and it was really hard to keep eating when I needed to.
All right, just left Divide aid. Quick, in and out, like 5 minutes. Got my bottles filled, tossed some trash, drank some Coke, and got out of there. This one, I got to right at my time goal, so I didn't want to dilly-dally.
From the Divide aid station, I had about 9 miles down to Slumgullion, where I could see my crew again and where I would pick up Jacob for the final 10 miles. You get about 2 smaller climbs, but for the most part, it is downhill.
I don't know what I look like, probably goo all over my face, but I think I'm heading down kind of the big descent to Slumgullion. Got about 5 miles till I get to that aid station. And where I'll pick up Jacob, and he's gonna take me final 10. So I'm pretty sure I've done a majority of the climbing for this portion, all downhill, which I need some runnable terrain right now. I need to make up some time, but it's raining. Can't complain, actually feels really good, really refreshed. But yeah, just running down an old jeeping road right now.
In this portion, I did find my second, third, or fourth wind and was running pretty strong and felt really good cruising down into the Slumgullion aid station.
Heading down, literally my worst nightmare. I absolutely hate roads with these little baby heads. But close to the crew. It's gonna be nice to see them kind of get a little revamp, get a little positive attitude. I feel like I've been pretty positive most of the day, actually. Just kind of low points, but pretty positive. It sucks because honestly, legs feel pretty good. It's not the legs, it's this gut issue. It just feels like something's sitting in it. And whenever I try to put effort into running, it just feels like I'm gonna puke. So trying to keep that at bay.
One thing I'm really grateful for is that even though I was riding the waves of what ultra running is, I stayed really positive throughout the entire day. I never wanted to give up, and I was enjoying every single moment.
Pretty section in here. Cool, these aspen, really tall. Check them out. About 2 miles from Slumgullion. Just want to chug water or a Gatorade.
Nice work, Taylor! Woo!
Seeing Renee and Adam at Slumgullion and knowing that Jacob was going to be with me for the remainder of the race was a big shot in the arm.
Nice Nice job, babe. Nice job. How are you feeling, Taylor?
Decent. Just the gut. Legs feel good.
What do you want to say to your fans?
Don't sign up for San Juan Solstice. Just kidding, it's amazing. It's like one of the most beautiful. But I mean, after I left you, we were basically above 13,000 for pretty much until the last like 4 months. You ready? Yeah. Okay.
All right, good job, good job. Love you. See you at the finish line. Good job. Let's go, Taylor. Woo!
These truly are the 3 people that I would want the most here supporting me during this adventure. Slumgullion to the finish. What do I have to say about this? I think it's cruel and just one last big you.
All right, just left Slumgullion aid station. Quick turnover. Jacob's with me now, pacing me for the last 10.
Just crushing it.
Yeah, I feel pretty okay. Tried to go poop. Fucking porta potty was taken, so I said nah. But I think we go uphill now. Yeah, it's like 2,000 foot climb, so yeehaw.
If there was the lowest of the lows, this was it. A final 2,000 foot-ish climb awaits you. It's steep, it's brutal, and it's beautiful. It's brutal. I was super grateful for having Jacob along on this final section. I would ask, give me 20 seconds to catch my breath, and when that 20 seconds was up, he got me back and moving. A lot of fart jokes and Creed kept me moving higher. God, that was lame. Having a pacer in this last final section was essential for me. Jacob kept me moving and running when if I was alone, I probably would be taking rests and walking.
Hopefully on the final descent after Slumgullion, that was a pretty low section for me, and I'm glad I had Jacob with me. Fart jokes, motivation, Creed, everything you need in your life. The essentials. Yeah, just a huge climb, and just wasn't feeling super strong, but we're still moving, and it looks like we'll be coming in under my goal pace, so if everything holds together here in the last 5-ish miles. What do you have to say, Jacob?
Oh, Taylor's killing it. He's killing it. Beautiful course, fun time, a lot of farts.
A lot of farts. A lot of farts, no shit. I'd rather shit right now. Okay, run time.
After reaching the Vickers aid station, I kicked it into gear. At least whatever gear was left after 45 miles and 12,500 feet of gain under my belt.
Okay, we're coming down the last mile and a half of the course. Gonna get the time goal. Got told my overall place, pretty happy with it. Jacob was a huge help on this last section because I definitely had some lows and there were definitely moments I would be walking if he wasn't with me. So high five in the back. One day he will be a fat cat.
Down at the bottom of the descent, you have 2 miles of flat roads welcome you back into town and to the finish line.
I just want to tell you I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And it means the world for me to be here and help you with this.
Yeah, love you too, man. I'm glad you like to go and walk in the woods for a little bit with me.
It's a Cottonwood giving him allergies. He's not crying at all.
I'm not crying.
That final stretch into town is something I'm always going to remember, knowing that I was just about to finish a huge goal of mine. It's pretty funny that a 9-minute pace felt like an all-out sprint at that point. I came running into Lake City Town Park, giving it all I had. After 50 miles and 12,500 feet of gain, I finished in sub 12 hours at 11 hours, 44 minutes, and 39 seconds. An absolutely amazing day running around the San Juan Mountains, and it was everything I asked for and more. I learned a lot about myself, and I'm so grateful that I kept such a positive attitude throughout the entire day. We did go back for golden hour to watch those final finishers come in at the sub 16 hour mark. It was pretty special to watch the last official finisher cross the finish line at 15 hours, 59 minutes, and 44 seconds with only 16 seconds to spare. way to go. The next day, we stuck around for the breakfast and the awards ceremony, which I highly recommend. Since I did finish under 12 hours, I did get the coveted red sub 12-hour hat.
Taylor Brown, 11:44:39.
It's an awesome last celebration for all of the participants of the San Juan Solstice 50-mile run. And that was my week. And that was the final episode of the Cool Down Catch-Up series for this season. Once again, I am so stoked to have finished in the sub 12-hour mark at the official finish time of 11 hours, 44 minutes, and 39 seconds, ending 52nd overall, marking me to be in the top 18% of the race. I also bought this awesome commemorative plaque made by Olson Designs, which has the topographic map and is customizable with whatever details you want. I highly recommend checking out Olson's designs and checking out his work, as he does plan to do these for future races as well. As always, thank you so much to all of you who have been following along on this Cool Down Catch-Up series for the past 23 weeks. And thank you to anyone new to the channel as well. If you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do have plans for some future series coming soon. One last huge thank you to my crew, Renee, Adam, and Jacob. I truly couldn't have done this without you guys. And another huge thank you to all of the San Juan Solstice 50-mile run volunteers. You guys are rock stars. And also thank you, Dad and Harmony, for the surprise, and anyone and everyone who have supported me throughout this training block. And until next time, as always, remember, adventure awaits.